Phase Hero episode 84 starts right now. I'm BD, joined today by Jenna Anderson.
Hey, everybody.
We got Jamie Dirac.
Hello.
We got Aaron Perrine.
What's going on, BD? Where's your hat?
Where's my which? I don't even know what hat I'm supposed to be wearing anymore. Oh my goodness. Has everybody survived Comic-Con? Y'all doing all right?
Still very tired.
I miss my friends.
I know.
Oh, it was so nice to just like wake up stressed out about a busy day, walk out of the room, and there's everyone you know right there. Oh, that was so much fun. I slept 12 hours last night though, so still on the mend. Today's show, it is just that, a lot of Comic-Con. We're going to recap some of our favorite moments, things we saw at Comic-Con, some of the things we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. We've got some major DC Universe updates, major Marvel Cinematic Universe updates, and then Avatar, Fire and Ash dropped the trailer. Jim Velasco, I'm still so tired. We feel you, Jim. Hey, I want to thank Jim and everyone else, all three of you who came out to the Circle 6 show to watch the wrestling match. That was genuinely the most fun I've ever had wrestling. This was the most fun I think I've ever had at Comic-Con. It was my 11th convention. I had more friends in the crowd there at the wrestling show, but like just all things considered, it just felt like we were at the hashtag show studio, all of us hanging out throughout the day. We'd go to the floor. I didn't get to spend enough time with my friends because I was all over the place. But when I did, when we were at the bar at the end of every night, it was so much fun. And also not just gratitude to all you three and everyone else we got to spend time with. I saw so many Phase Hero sweatshirts and shirts at this show. That is unreal. All four of us signed one. There was somebody who found us all one individually, and we all signed it. I was the last one to sign it.
I'm glad that they found you. That's amazing.
Well, I ran into him at the Hilton, and I didn't have a Sharpie or anything because, like, I don't think people want me to sign things. He's like, "Do you have it?" And I was like, "No, I don't like that." But then I saw him again at the wrestling show. Actually, I think it was. And we all got to sign it. This convention felt really, really special to me. And I'm glad we got to do it. And we got to do our Fantastic Four review in person together. And that's blowing up with people being very reasonable about our opinions. But no, I think doing these episodes in person is such a treat. I want to find a way, like maybe make it a thing where like every time a major Marvel or DC movie comes out, we find a way to make sure like we do it in person somehow, one way or another. Maybe just somebody sponsors those episodes. I don't know. But that was so much fun. We had to start with what I think might be the highlight of Comic-Con, though. Genuinely, this was a mission I've been on as the years have gone on, it's become more and more of a mission, but in the past few weeks specifically, it's really become a mission. I wanted Jenna to meet her biggest fan, James Gunn. Especially ever since he started sharing her incredible videos on the Go Read Some Comics YouTube channel. And it finally happened. Huge thanks to DC and DC Studios for having us at Peace Fest. And Jerry, my manager, who made that happen. Jerry, shout out. I know you're not really supposed to shout out like your team people who are behind the scenes. I'm giving Jerry so much love for making this happen. But we were able to get Jenna into Peace Fest. It happened. I'm just going to let Jenna tell it how she wants to.
Well, first of all, you were already making me cry before the show started because you had W's in the chat for me and everyone was very, very sweet. That was just so unbelievable. Like you put it, it was almost like he met me as much as it was me meeting him. It was the craziest moment of my life. I won't get too far into the specifics of what we talk about because that is a secret for me and him and Brandon, who was standing 2 feet away, ready to take a picture. But it was just incredible. He is the sweetest person. It is just so surreal. I have been riding that high ever since.
This photo, I felt like a proud dad.
That was me filming your wrestling show.
Yeah.
I took 10,000 photos of you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, by the way. I watched so many people's Instagram stories and videos and stuff. I love and hate watching myself wrestle because when I'm in the ring, I'm like, that looked so cool. And then I watch it and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like hopping around, happy feet. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, I was standing there watching Jenna and James talk, and my phone was in that mode that's like whatever the Apple iPhone does when it tries to do a dark photo, and it wouldn't just rapid fire photos. And I was like, "You son of a bitch, take these pictures!" And then James got pulled to go introduce Steel Panther to Peace Fest, and I was like, "James, can we just take a picture real quick?" And look at this picture. This is amazing. This is two very happy, amazing people. I'm so happy it
I'm
happened.
I'm at a loss for words, even just talking about it now. Like
Jenna,
happy.
my favorite thing is that when he saw you, he said, "There she is," because that's exactly what Clark Gregg said when he saw me, and we have very similar like relationships, I think, to them. And so when you said that, I was like, I know that feeling, and it's the most like perfect feeling in the whole world.
It wasn't even that he said "there she is," he like screamed it at the top of his lungs in a crowded group of people, and that I could not have anticipated that within a million years. I was like standing there politely waiting for him to finish his conversation, and then I would say hi, and he spotted me like 2 milliseconds later and just started screaming. Craziest moment of my life.
And if I'm not mistaken, is this like Tom King?
Yes, yeah, that is because he was talking to Tom King and Mitch Gerrits, both of whom I know personally, so that made that even funnier. I did go up to them afterwards and say sorry for interrupting your conversation, and it was just the perfect circumstance. It was just so funny. I'm still in shock.
Peace Fest was a pretty remarkable.
It was
night.
so cool. Oh my gosh!
And we got to see Foxy Shazam, Eric Nally, and Lulu Saffron. Eric of Foxy Shazam, Lulu of the Mighty Crab Joys perform live, and it was just so much fun. Okay, so that was our highlight of Comic-Con. Jamie, what was your favorite moment of the weekend?
Oh, you're the second person to ask me this in 2 days, and I like wasn't prepared either time to answer it. I just want to say, like, honestly, it's like I got to spend so much time with Aaron. I know that we both live in LA, so you'd think we could see each other like every day, but LA is a big place and we live very far from each other, and I don't drive. So like I was like waking up, and the first thing I did was like go out in my hotel room and go see Aaron and Ari. Was like genuinely how I would like, how do we live in a duplex and live in the same place every day? That it's not, I know that's not really Comic-Con related, but boy, oh boy, did I get to spend a lot of time with Aaron Bree.
If Aaron doesn't say hanging out with Jamie,
not that you're not that you're
don't say that.
Maybe aside from hanging out with Jamie so that you're off the hook, what was your highlight of Comic-Con?
I can still somehow work it in. I think that the Women in Superheroes and Media panel with both Jenna and Jamie might have been the most fun I had, even though I was mad late and they covered for me. I was having a good time up there. It's just nice. It's just really fun to be in these rooms where everyone is as excited about this stuff as you are, which is not necessarily the case. You would think working in this space that everybody be stoked 24/7 to be talking about Marvel and DC. And that is not my professional experience of writing in the entertainment industry. So a real treat. Also, I promise one day, Jenna, I'm going to stop looking at you when I get confused, like you're the ceiling in a standardized test. Every time I got confused, I look over at Jenna, just like, stop looking. I don't look at me. I don't have the answers to what you're looking for.
I've gotten used to it at this point, but yeah, I was like, Aaron, I don't have all the answers. I only feel like I do sometimes. I don't know.
All our listeners know Jenna does have the answers.
True.
It's true.
Duh.
I want to add about the panel that it was so nice that so many Phase Hero listeners came, and especially like a lot of dudes, which I like really, I love looking out like this panel that was like very women focused, and to look out and like see so many guys who were like there to support was really cool. But all the Phase Hero people that I met specifically at that panel were so nice, and I want to shout out Mason for making us special bracelets, because my friends have made me special bracelets, but no one I've never met before has never handed me a bracelet they made just for me, and that really was special to me. And thank you.
Aw, that's amazing. What time was the panel?
It was at like 3:30 on Friday.
On Friday.
I hope you were busy.
No, you were doing something. You were.
I had Kirkman in the studio, and then I had to go to the Predator Badlands panel, which actually is a great segue because that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. But first, I have to thank Jordan Padavani for the $4.99. Randomly stumbled upon your channel during the Doomsday Chair reveal. Now I watch you all religiously every week. Proud to be a new fan. Thank you, Jordan. Welcome to the circus, buddy.
Whoa, the positive result of the chairs. Who knew? Who knew that?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's save that for later.
Yes, we will get to that. Predator Badlands, though, I think was my favorite non-Marvel or DC thing about San Diego Comic-Con. I didn't get to see the Tron Ares panel because I had to go get ready for the wrestling show. But Predator Badlands was directly before that. And I thought this panel was awesome, mostly because of the footage. I will say I'm not somebody who really loves sitting through panels, with a few exceptions. Like the Peacemaker panel was an exception because they were so much fun. There's nothing wrong with Dan Trachtenberg, Elle Fanning. They were really great on stage, but I am spoiled with opportunity and sometimes sitting for an hour listening to people talk about things in vague terms when you already know so much about it can get a little tedious. I wasn't bored at all, but I was way more into the footage than the conversation. And the footage for Predator Badlands, they showed the first 15 minutes of the movie. And by the way, this is from Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey, which we all know is great. And then Killer of Killers, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet, but I hear is amazing. It's the animated series. Don't know. Aaron, you say no?
No, it's crazy.
Oh, okay. I need to watch it. I'm going to watch it. And because I'm pretty sure that it's pretty connected to Predator Badlands. And they showed the first 15 minutes of Predator Badlands. And one of my questions going into this is, how are we going to root for one of these guys? Like, this has been the bad guy the whole time. What are they going to do to make it humanize one of these predators? And they did it immediately. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll talk vaguely about the footage. It starts with an epic action training sequence for a young predator with others. And then it goes into this mission gets set up, and it has very familial driven stakes that makes you get behind clearly the younger character here, the little brother, basically. And it sets up this kind of menacing other character. And I was immediately this character's sympathetic. This character's one I'm rooting for. I understand immediately how they pulled this off, and I can't wait to see the rest of it. So I have to shout out Dan Trachtenberg for that panel and that movie. That seems like he is just making another great Predator movie with Badlands. I think it looks awesome. And Elle Fanning as the robot on his back, like Yoda in Star Wars, which actually was the inspiration for it. They said that on the panel. Looks awesome. And the Doomer off this $5 off the strength of Aaron's hair, homie, rocking it. Let's go. Aaron, you looked so cool all weekend.
Thank you.
Hell
you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Oh,
Thank you.
Could you point out Lavia? They're watching in India.
What time is it there?
It's mad.
What day is it there, matter of fact?
No.
Awesome. Thanks for tuning in.
It is basically midnight.
We got Killer of Killers Love from Troy Farley. I got to watch that. I definitely have to watch that.
I want to watch that so bad, and I can't figure out how to get into my Hulu account. It's a whole struggle that's been going on in my household for a month. We can't figure out our Hulu situation. But I'm I love Predator. I love Predator. And the fact that there's a Predator thing out there that I haven't seen is making me insane. It's genuinely torturing me.
I need to watch it. I'm so glad I feel like Dan Trachtenberg is bringing the franchise back to life.
Mm-hmm.
And on that panel, they also teased Weyland-Yutani. The role of Weyland-Yutani in Badlands is it created the robot that Elle Fanning plays, which is apparently she's gonna have 2 different roles. So I'm assuming there's more than one robot. They wouldn't specify what it is. They only talked about the Thea version of her role, but I'm assuming she will meet other robots created by Weyland-Yutani. And then Josh Horowitz, who hosted the panel, or if it wasn't Josh Horowitz, maybe it was Kevin Smith. I'm just so used to Josh Horowitz hosting fucking everything at every Comic-Con.
And he crushes it, by the way.
What?
And he crushes it, by the way.
He does. Josh does a really good job. He is really good.
There's nothing that grinds my gears more than a bad moderator. So, at least he's good at it.
Yeah, Josh, he did 3 Hall H panels. Juju did a great job in his Hall H panel of 5 nights. Kevin McCarthy did a great job of Bad Guys, too. But yeah. They teased a little bit of maybe this is going to a Alien versus Predator thing.
I want to say, I talked about this on Break Room on Monday. Check me out. I was on Break Room. But I want a proper Alien versus Predator so badly. The 2 that we got aren't good, but they're fun. But we deserve a good one. And the fact that here, because I didn't go to that panel, but hearing that she was created by them means there's no way they're not taking these steps in the correct way, and I'm just so freaking hyped.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. So yeah, any Predator Badlands things you got? The activation was awesome as well. I got to do that. I didn't do too many activations, so this probably doesn't hold that much weight, but it was my favorite that I got to see. They had the literal Predator standing there when I walked in, and I almost shit myself because it had a big ass sword and that face and everything, and it was talking to me in whatever that language is called. Oh my god. I was I need to get out of here now. Send me to the good lands. All right, there's Jamie, you got to go to D23, but you also went to the George Lucas panel.
I did. It's so funny. This is the only panel I went to. It was my first time ever in Hall H. And what's really funny about that is I've been hearing about the hype of Hall H for so long. Last year, it's look, it's Downey. Oh my God, this is your Peacemaker. And the panel I went to is and our new museum building has no right angles. It was just like a really nice presentation about a museum. What was cool was that Queen Latifah was the moderator, and she, of course, crushed it. And I'm a huge Queen Latifah fan. So being in her presence was great. And same with Guillermo del Toro and Doug Chang. Like, they both were so insightful. Guillermo del Toro is such a presence. I want to be friends with that man so bad. But like the reason for the season is like to be in the same room as George Lucas, right? Like, that's why we were all there. He's never been to Comic-Con before. San Diego Comic-Con is 7 years older than Star Wars, and he has never been before. So like that was so big. But what's so funny is like it's Sunday morning. I'm just gonna say it. I was hungover, and the man is just like, he's a very drab talker who like really rambles.
So was like, George, apparently.
Yeah. Well, no, like, and George, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna fall asleep. So like, but it was very interesting overall, and genuinely, I cannot wait for this museum. I'm so excited. It's coming to LA. I like, if you're here, if you get the chance, it opens in 2026, and like, this is like my type of museum for sure. It's the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, and look it up. Go on the website. It's totally cool. But it was a funny experience for that to be my first college, because it was real low key.
One of the things I heard a lot of people talk about when they came out of that panel was he didn't talk a lot about Star Wars. And
no,
it wasn't people complaining saying that, but they were kind of like, it sounded like a little bit, I would have liked to hear him talk about Star Wars, but there was a lot of like, it was nice to hear him talk about something else.
Yeah, I knew he wouldn't. I didn't. That's why. I mean, the man, I don't think has been to Celebration either. Like he's trying. Like he's doesn't want to do that anymore. Like in the 2000s, he went through a lot with the Star Wars fandom that like he's obviously stepped back and no, thank you. But they showed a lot of images from the museum, and there's a lot of Star Wars stuff in the museum. So like it's his like personal collection of stuff, a lot of it. So obviously, like if you want Star Wars stuff, the museum will deliver.
Yeah.
Jamie, one day we need to go to Skywalker Ranch and have him talk about the grapes. Have him talk about the wine with us.
Yes,
no Star Wars whatsoever. Just us being out there with him in his gardening hat.
Aaron, do you think George Lucas has ever done surgery on a grape? Sorry, that was our big joke.
I think so.
I love how he came out to the Star Wars music. John Cena should have come out to his WWE theme song during Peacemaker.
It felt like he metaphorically did, like being out in costume. Like the energy in the room when he walked out in the costume, he might as well have had that music playing.
Hold on. I'm making my banner here. I'm making my banner for the
Let's go.
Peacemaker and DC.
The time is now.
Your time is up. My time is now.
I will also say, while we're vamping, I look forward to all the comic art that's going to be in that museum. Like seeing all of the reports kind of come out of like what original comic art's going to be there. Like I cannot wait to see all of that in person. I'm going to geek out.
It's time to talk about the DC universe. It's time to pivot to Peacemaker and the DCU, which I dare say Peacemaker won Comic-Con this year. I don't know. That was the big one for me. Maybe I was so close to it because I got to do I got to go to the panel. I got to go to Peace Fest. But Peace Fest was I was hosting a panel this year for the first time ever, which was incredibly exciting. I had a wrestling match, and still Peacemaker panel and Peace Fest were the things I was most looking forward to, if I'm completely honest. And it's not a huge margin, but that was number one. I just want to emphasize that.
There wasn't much competition though, because like you go to Comic-Con, the big things are always Marvel and DC, and that was the only thing of those two.
Yeah.
So I was bummed though that I didn't get to, because I'm so hyped for season 2. But everything you guys said about it sounded incredible.
Yeah,
I will just say, with it winning Comic-Con, metaphorically speaking, if 5 years ago, if you told me that was the case with a character like Peacemaker, who pre the Suicide Squad, pre this show, was a Z-lister, for lack of a better term, like nobody really knew who he was. The fact that then this character can become not only a household name, but he can become like the crown jewel of a Comic-Con and like the biggest party you want to go to is just so crazy. And it is just such a testament to like how we can introduce these characters to new audiences and make people really, really give a shit.
We've got to go back to George Lucas real quick for this quick 5 from the Doomer. Thank you so much, Doomer. George Lucas standing in the middle of Comic-Con floor. Now I am become death. George Lucas Oppenheimer moment. Thank you, Doomer. In the future, if Marvel Studios is going to continue going to San Diego Comic-Con, which I can only assume they will. I know we're always unsure if they're going to do just D23 or whatnot. I think that you can't do them on the same day anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be Warner Brothers would be in the morning and they would bring a bunch of movies and DC would be a large portion of that. And then Marvel Studios would be Saturday night. I don't think either party would benefit from going on the same day. I think one goes Friday, one goes Saturday is my hope, because media won't be able to give you proper coverage of it. It'll all get drowned out and you both stand to lose from it. And I think if like DC goes Friday, Marvel goes Saturday, or vice versa, it doesn't really matter. I just have a hard time seeing Marvel give up that top spot. And say what you will about whoever's winning the race right now, I still think Marvel has carried Comic-Con for such a long time that they should still keep that Saturday night spot if they want it. But I think DC is going to really be a force to be reckoned with in future years. And they didn't even go all out this year. They really didn't. They said, we're doing Peacemaker. And everybody goes, will we see Supergirl? Will we see this? Will we see that? No, they did Peacemaker and it was fucking awesome, but it was just Peacemaker.
I loved that. I loved that Peacemaker as its own project got to just really stand on its own, have its own moment. There will come a time for Supergirl to get that moment, for Lanterns to get that moment. Like, we will get to that point, but I loved that we weren't like putting the cart before the horse. We were just really, really riding the high of just how well Superman was received and using that to then be like, hey, remember Peacemaker? This is going to be great.
Also want to shout out Troy Farley's comment here. Wait, wrong one. I cherish Peace Fest with all my heart. I don't care how many women and children I have to push out of the way to get there. That was kind of me racing to the Marvel booth when Jamie had to leave, and I had to stop by Funko real quick.
Didn't make it.
I didn't make it, and we didn't get it. It was 100%.
We turned Jamie into Herbie.
We didn't get a photo of the four of us, despite recording in person.
I think that there was one person at the wrestling show who got a picture of us with them.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there is. So if you had
categorically,
Nick Jacoby, I think. Yeah, I think it was Nick. So Nick, send us the picture.
There is a photo out there of that we were all in. That was both Brandon and I, just not different wavelengths on that final day. And it's Sunday. Sunday's a hard day to it
also, cell service on the convention floor is a nightmare. Like, we realized after the fact that texts were sending like 10 minutes after Brandon and I were sending them to each other. So we were trying our best. I
did like a full lap around the Marvel booth and didn't see anyone. And I was like, shit. And then I 2 hours later, my text sent to you guys. Yeah. And then Jamie's probably like, what is he just got there? Yeah. I'm like, in LA. But all right, let's get back to Peacemaker. Jenna, you're working on a video about Peacemaker season. Or you just published your video.
I already posted it. Yeah, okay. I posted it last night. Just about the trailer and just about kind of insights from Hall H. What do you want to start with?
Yeah, I think that I want to direct people to go read some comics to watch your video. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I know how hard you worked on that. I am sure it did not disappoint, and I'm going to watch it this afternoon. But don't give away everything. Let's get some people to go watch your channel and keep subscribing. What is it? 13,000 now?
16,000.
16th, holy shit. So yes, Jenna is earning it the hard way, like the authentic way, through these long form videos. It's not like a couple viral shorts that are getting Jenna to pop off. It's really good content. So go read some comics and watch this video. But Jenna, if you wouldn't mind giving a little sample platter of some of your takeaways from the Peacemaker season 2 trailer.
I was so happy that we finally got Sasha Bordeaux kind of in more than one shot of the trailer and speaking dialogue. She's a character that I've really, really been excited to see in this season, because she's kind of an unexpected choice for this world. She is a Secret Service agent who becomes Bruce Wayne's bodyguard in the comics and then kind of falls in love with him. And that all just gets really, really screwed up from there. She joins Checkmate. She becomes a cyborg. She has a very weird history as her own character. And I've been so excited to see her in the show. So yeah, on my video, I kind of dive into her comic history a little bit more. I just like the character arcs in this season and the stuff that they said at the Hall H panel. Like, we'll talk more about the specifics, but like, it just seems like everyone is going to be in such an interesting place across this season. Like, I think James said, we're not only progressing characters, but we're regressing some of them. We're having them kind of like be worse off than they were in season 1. And it seems like every arc that we're going to go on is going to just be so fun and so satisfying to see.
Aaron, are you a Peacemaker fan?
I was all right on season 1. It was cool. I enjoyed it enough. I think that it was a wild, weird swing, like, for real. Like, it feels much more like a James Gunn thing, if that makes any sense, than like a Superman does, to just spin around in a wiffle ball bat and then point it at a person in the DC encyclopedia and be like, we're making a show about that. But it was good. It really was interesting. I don't know what the heck is going on with this season 2 other than Lex Luthor nonsense adjacent to Superman. But I'm excited. I mean, I much like Jamie, I see all the videos from Peace Fest and was like, Jamie, we should have just climbed the freaking gate, man. Like we should have been in there.
You know, I'm so good at sneaking into places. It's like my secret talent. But we were having just a really nice dinner.
That's good.
Yeah, at a restaurant.
You have to cherish the like genuinely good meals that you can eat there that aren't just like a pretzel while you're walking from one thing to another. So I respect that.
I made sure.
I love also while we're talking, you're playing the part of the panel when James is getting very annoyed at the John Cena "You can't see me" jokes because he does not like those. And Cena was really having fun with it.
This is literally why I don't buy John Cena as the bad guy in WWE, because he has so much fun with all this stuff and he's such a good dude. And my, limited, I probably spent a total of, 4 hours in a room with John Cena, like actually talking to him. I don't mean like watching him on stage, but like that to me is enough time to gauge if a person is actually authentic. And I've always thought John is like one of the nicest dudes. I was really bummed to not see him at Peace Fest. I got there like, 20, 30 minutes after he left. And I really wanted to, I brought the comic and everything. So we were
ready to go.
Oh my God. I went and bought, Jenna sent me recommendations for comic covers. I went and found one and I was a little bit late to Peace Fest, just not late. Like it started at 7. I got there at like 7:30, but he left at like 7:15. But I got there as fast as I could just with the schedule of the day. But anyway, some of the Hall H highlights in terms of like news and insights were that this is set directly 1 month after Superman. It establishes there are at least 100 other parallel universes in the DC universe. The dance sequence is bigger. It is set to "Oh Lord" by Foxy Shazam, which I've listened to nonstop since Peace Fest. It is I love that song. I actually fully regret not setting my Comic-Con recap to that song. I did it to Punk Rocker, which is obviously great, but I feel more directly connected to that song, honestly. And more characters from Superman will appear than the announced Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, Maxwell Lord, Peacemaker, if you haven't seen Superman. If you have, you get it. And Rick Flag. So he said there might be some characters wandering these halls that are in Superman that might also show up in Peacemaker Season 2. So I think Peacemaker Season 2 is going to be fucking awesome. I've watched a little bit of it. I haven't had a chance to finish it yet. But I can't wait for this show and the discussions and everything about it. Go ahead.
I was if you want some good behind the scenes content, make sure you're following Steve Agee on Instagram because he is like a really great photographer. Yeah. And after BD interviewed him, I asked him, I was like, dude, is there going to be some good BTS content for Peacemaker Season 2? He's like, oh yeah.
Hell
like
yeah.
There was an interesting behind the scenes thing Danielle Brooks shared, who is in Peacemaker, and she had a photo. Now this like went everywhere. So did you guys see this?
No.
I don't know if I have.
It was on her story and she didn't delete it. It lived a full 24 hours, but Danielle Brooks shared a photo with David Corenswet in full Superman gear.
Well, so, okay, they were filming like their productions like basically in the same studio. It was like they were like they kept crossing over, and like part of that seemingly was also because it was like certain characters were literally going to cross over, but like they were filming basically next door to each other for part of the production. So I wouldn't put too much stock in that. I think if it was able to live in her stories for 24 hours, then maybe that was just the reason, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. By the way, the Steve Agee audio
so busy.
What's that?
So busy this weekend. She was so busy. She was a nice guy. I mean, Bad Guys 2 panel too, like randomly, and something else. I'm like, my God.
Yeah. That Steve Agee interview that Jamie referenced is available now in audio form. I'll have the video up probably later today. I got to save room for the Paul Walter Hauser interview, which will be up on Thursday on the channel for Naked Gun, which is a fucking hilarious movie.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited.
It is so funny.
That Rotten Tomato score, when it dropped this morning, I was shocked. I'm so happy for that movie.
Such a funny movie. Between that and Freakier Friday, like comedy is not dead, people. It is very much not dead.
Hell yeah.
Peacemaker's coming to Fortnite. That's hugely exciting. I've been waiting for this for so long. I cannot wait for Peacemaker to come to Fortnite. And I think that's just a sign of the fact that Peter and James are doing a really good job of working on unifying the brand, both in terms of the storytelling in the movies and TV shows, but with other brands, McFarlane, Hot Toys, Sideshow, Epic Games. There's just so much more than we used to get with DC characters being made available to us. And I think that is great. And also Superman has passed $500 million at the box office worldwide. It has surpassed Man of Steel's domestic total. It's been out for 3 weeks. So I dare say Superman is a success.
Yes.
Big couple of weeks for the DC universe. Was there anything else on the DC universe front we want to talk about? How are we feeling about 500 milli for Superman?
I'm so happy.
Good for him.
Good for him. He's soaring. He is soaring. The Fantastic Four box office, this is just our segue, is not doing too bad itself. It was just under Superman's opening weekend. Now, of course, Superman had those Tuesday screenings, which were basically sold out everywhere, only in IMAX. So they were premium price tickets. And I know that's a factor. I don't know if it's enough of a factor to have made the difference. But let's see. Forbes headline is not very flattering for Fantastic Four, but let's see. 218
don't
million.
get Jamie started.
218 million opening weekend globally for Fantastic Four. I think it was 115.
That sounds about right.
Not 115, 120 domestic.
115, yeah.
It was like 3 million under Superman total.
Yeah.
It was. I like that they're neck and neck. And one of my favorite things about this, and also I just have to say this, it's projected for a 61% drop as the recent projection, which to me means globally, when it's all said and done, Superman is going to win.
Yeah.
So I think it's great though that the competition can be this close. And I wanted to make a video at Comic-Con. I just didn't have a chance. I know this would have crushed. I wanted to interview fans on the floor and say Superman or Fantastic Four, not for the sake of starting a war, but to show that everyone I talked to at Comic-Con had a different pick.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I never knew if you were going to like Superman or you were going to like Fantastic Four more. And I think it's incredible that we're at a time where properties like this can come out, have such great movies, have so much love for them, that to the point that so many people are just, I really like this one, but I liked that one more. And that's X is, the one you like more, or Y is the one you like more. But what was your experience with that when you guys talked about it with people at Comic-Con? Did you, come on, you had Superman versus Fantastic Four conversations with friends.
There was a lot of just box office chatter, and you and I both participated in a lot of that ourselves. But I again, it is surreal that we can be at this point and having two movies that have a lot of things in common, both existing around the same time. Part of me does, now having just rewatched FF again last night, part of me almost wishes that it had gotten to be released a little bit later and gotten to fully have its own moment. Also, because I feel like we'll get to it, but I feel like there's some scenes that aren't in the movie because of VFX reasons, and I would have almost rather they have waited the couple extra months and put those in the movie. But it still is just surreal to be in this moment.
We talked a little bit about this on the review podcast, which is our second biggest downloaded episode of the month. Thank you for that.
Hell yeah.
Superman review is number one.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Fan 4 will probably catch up, I think, for our downloads. We have a huge Marvel audience on Phase Hero. But I feel guilty of not being incapable of comparing them, both while watching, when thinking about them. Like, they came out so close together that I really think Superman would have benefited, from having more time to just exist on its own and have that marketing and press window not conflicting with such an overlapped audience with Superman, but also B, just from having my palate cleansed. Going from one glass of wine to another, even though they're both good, they always say you're going to taste the first one more. I don't know. I wish it had more time to add those scenes, to do a little bit more. But also, maybe this is just the movie they wanted to make. They maybe those scenes did actually. I keep thinking maybe they'll release a longer cut, but do we just jump to that talking point since we're already talking about it? Let's do it.
Yeah, so Matt Shackman spoke to Elite Daily, and he was asked if there's going to be a director's cut, and he said, no, unfortunately not. There's so much VFX involved, it's not possible. So that does bum me out, because even beyond the VFX of it all, people have made compilations of the scenes that are even just in the trailers that aren't even in the movie. And so I'm very curious kind of how things evolved along the way and whether those scenes did kind of in their minds drag the movie or not. Because in my mind, having seen it twice, I would have benefited from even more of those quiet moments and those kind of character interactions, but they just kind of wanted to tell the story that they told. Jamie has thoughts, clearly.
My question is, in 17 years, has there ever been a director's cut in the MCU?
No,
I don't think so. So this news doesn't surprise me at all. It's just not something that they've ever done. And I understand. I feel like they're trying to make a cohesive thing. If they let Shackman do it, I feel like Taika would come out and be like, "Excuse me." You didn't let me do that for Love and Thunder. So that's so hearing that news is like it's literally been like in 17 years, no one has ever done that.
I will say, in all this stuff about box office and editing the movies and all this other fun stuff, like I do want to be wary though, because the Forbes article you've referenced, BD, that I read too, and the Variety article today are like, it feels like people are trying to rewrite history faster and faster in front of our eyes. Like a movie with an A- cinema score and another movie with an A cinema score that earn their freaking budgets back in week 1 are not failures. Neither of them. That is insane. Like moving of the goalposts that I can't even imagine like taking seriously, but people will because people don't read, unfortunately. But it just makes me, it was like, both of these movies kicked a lot of butt, like a lot of butt. Like that Forbes article in general, I think listed Thunderbolts with the Marvels and I want to say Brave New World as like disappointments. And I was like, a movie with a A- cinema score and that kind of Rotten Tomatoes on both the critical and fan side is not a flop. And I feel like you work at Forbes, you're supposed to be about numbers. Like, please do numbers. Please do other numbers. Do other analysis.
I do think part of that, like the way that they're framing it, is like the monetary of it all. Of like when you fold in the marketing budgets and the production budgets and all of that stuff, and when you fold in the landscape of MCU movies used to like unequivocally make $1 billion, regardless of whatever title it was. And obviously, that's not the reality we live in anymore, and we've talked about that at length. But I think that history is why people are looking at the way that the movies have performed over the course of the past year a little bit differently.
I want to say that if you're not doing better qualitative analysis than my freshman year, like students were, I look at you in judgment. I'm like, what in the world? What's going on here? You're not at least a little curious, like a little curious. That's a little interesting to me. That's just me though.
C Black, thank you for the 5. Spider-Man 4, Doomsday, Secret Wars, X-Men will make the money. MCU restored trust with Thunderbolts and F4. The next 4 movies can make $1 billion. I mean, in theory, I personally wish there was more Doom set up for Doomsday, and I think that would be a huge booster for Avengers Doomsday. I think it's in a bit of a corner, but I obviously think that movie's going to be successful. The comment section just calls out how Aaron always is the level-headed, most comprehensive, thought-out person on the pod. I gotta go with that. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious how Doomsday will perform, because there's a version of Doomsday and the road to Doomsday specifically. I'm gonna go wrestling talk real quick. The thing that makes WrestleMania so special is the road to WrestleMania. The reason WrestleMania 40 was such a massive success was because of the road to WrestleMania, not just because it was WrestleMania. WrestleMania is always going to be the most watched WWE event of the year. But 40 specifically had The Rock getting involved, and then it blended real world, and like, was The Rock taking over Cody Rhodes' spot? Cody Rhodes was earning that for years, that WrestleMania spot against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was the champion for 3 years, and everybody was like, when is this guy going to lose? Infinity War and Endgame, it was the same thing that Thanos built, the crossover. When are we going to see Guardians meet the Avengers? All these things, these things that slowly started planting seeds. And I don't feel like there have been a lot of seeds planted for Doomsday. And if they haven't been in a way that have been super tangible for us to like get super into conversations with, that a lot of people are having. I see a lot of good theories and stuff. So they get crazier and crazier, and I'm guilty of that too. But I just wish the road to Doomsday had a bit more texture to it. A bit more like Deadpool and Wolverine anchor being type concepts, or Loki with the all the time travel stuff. But again, they've pivoted. They went away from Kang. They brought in Fantastic Four. I think Doomsday is obviously going to be a success. I wish there was a little bit more of like a meaningful lead up than a bit more of like a million characters being thrown out there. And I don't know how Doomsday kicks off or really why it's happening yet. I can't even really guess. Sorry,
I agree with that.
That was my tangent.
Because I forgot to put this in the rundown. But the one random news item from earlier this week was that Agent Cleary, who is the damage control agent that's in Miss Marvel and No Way Home, is coming back again in a 3rd show. And I'm like, he has had more appearances in this saga than like most of the characters who have chairs that we're going to then follow into Doomsday. So I think like it is interesting to your point of the setup of it all. We used to have trilogies. We used to have multiple film appearances for most of these flagship characters before we saw them in an Avengers movie, and that is just not the reality that we've been in.
Yeah. Can I throw an Aaron Dart out there about that guy, about Cleary? it's important that we set up the Sentinel program before there's X-Men. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
I mean, maybe Secret Wars does it because Feige did say they're going to condense it to one timeline after Secret Wars. So we'll see about that. Now, I'm personally very excited the Russos are back. I think they do a really good job of enhancing certain elements of characters, at least the way they move in action scenes specifically. But I'm also glad Christopher Marcus is writing it. I think what they did in the story for Infinity War and Endgame when they had McFeely on board too is it's McFeely who's back. Marcus stayed home. But that sort of balancing all those characters with Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, I found really impressive too. So I have no doubt we're going to enjoy Doomsday whenever it gets worked out, but it is still getting worked out right now, which is another story.
Do we just get to that news beat?
Go for it.
So Rebecca Romaine had a quote to The Hollywood Reporter where she said she's not sure that she's finished filming all of her scenes in Doomsday yet, because her quote was, not sure they haven't finished writing the script. Which, like, obviously we talked about this last week of Michael Waldron as being brought on to kind of do the punch-ups, the plussing, as Kevin Feige called it. But yeah, that has to just be fascinating as an actor to, like, not even know if you're done with the movie. Like, that just has to be a wild experience.
I don't like it. It just it's just doesn't, like, I don't know. It loses a little bit of the art for me when they're just making it as they go. I still think it's gonna be good. Like, you know, it'll have to be really bad for me not to like it. But I don't like that there are actors out there being like, who knows if the script isn't finished.
I just go back to Joanna's book. This has been the Marvel method forever. And sometimes it works, sometimes it bites them in the ass. But typically I'd go, I don't know if I'm done. They're still finishing the script. You're just covering up to not say anything. But I do believe in this case, they really are still writing things. They're still making pages as they go. But Iron Man, the Avengers, Iron Man 2, like all those early phase 1 movies that I hold in such high regard. Maybe not Iron Man 2, but it's still a fun movie. That was what they were doing back then. So it's hard to imagine that being done with so many actors.
But yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's such a smaller scale. Like you're only trying to find the path of one man, not 20 men and 5 women.
Yeah. I know Aaron has to have thoughts on this.
I mean, when I was in college, when we'd be playing games, basketball, and like we wax a team, like beat the crap out of a team, and I literally have ice on my knees or my shoulder, and you give up that lead in the fourth quarter, and I had to take this ice off my knees and come back in. This is how it goes. You still win the game sometimes, but it's like, dang, come on, man. I have pants on. Like, I'm chilling. I'm sitting there laughing. I started drinking beverages that are not water. Come on, bro. Like, that's going to keep bleeding. They should be fine. There have been other Marvel movies, like Brandon said, that the script has not been finished, and they've turned out just fine. I'd rather they get whatever the ending is right or whatever than just be like, well, we've had it on the page, and that's what it's going to be, because that can also lead you into weird spots. You know what I mean? I'm not going to bring up, we did enough, Brandon, you missed it. We did a lot of Madam Web on that women in superhero media panel. But I bet you they wish they went back in there and rejiggered some things around once they realized they weren't going to have Tom and them in there. So I kind of agree. Who is this? It was in the chat. It was Will McLean. Where it's like, there's an overabundance of information. That's why I haven't watched that WWE Unreal thing on Netflix. I don't want to hear about what y'all could have gave us. I don't want to know about that. Please don't tell me.
We're all guilty of, though, no matter what we get, when we hear about what we didn't, we go, oh, that would have been better. No matter how much we like a thing, that happens every time.
I also think it's different with this movie when this is the biggest movie that they are making. Like this, even more so than the X-Men reboot. Like there is so much riding on this specific movie. There are so many different elements to it. Like naturally, we are going to be very curious how the production is going, what the story is that they're cracking. Like it is a big deal.
Got $5 from Dancing Dog 60. Thank you, Dancing Dog 60. For working them paws on the keyboard. This summer was way better than Superman Returns and X3 Summer. Again, you folks have the best show. Everyone hit like. Fantastic show. Thank you, Dancing Dog. W Dancing Dog in the chat, everybody. Thank you.
Love that 2006 throwback.
Yeah. I'm not really worried about Doomsday. I think they're going to make the best movie they can, and I really won't be shocked if it moves back to May of the following year of 27. I won't be shocked if they do that, because if you get this wrong, if you don't finish this movie, kind of cooked at that point, that's really, really bad. And they're spending so much money on Robert Downey Jr. alone, and in addition to everything else in this movie. But I'm not really too worried about it, and at least not at this point. One thing I am worried about is the lack of urgency to develop a Blade or Deadpool movie. A Variety report this morning came out, had a whole bunch of updates in it, and there is no sense of urgency to develop a Blade or Deadpool movie. According to the report, I didn't read the full report. I just saw the tweet, and now it's in our rundown. I find that to be madness. I don't want 100 movies a year, but I do think Blade and Deadpool are characters that would be success stories for the box office if done right.
Give me Blade. I just feel like they're torturing me specifically with this Blade nonsense. Like, they're like, how can we ruin Jamie's life? And it's by teasing Mahershala Ali as Blade 5 years ago. 5 years.
6.
Oh my God.
We've lived so many lives.
It's been a lot of life lived. Goodness gracious.
The chat knows what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that right now. I'm happy. We're still coming off of Comic-Con. I'm like, y'all asked for this. That's what I gotta say. But it is kind of interesting, huh?
I didn't ask for this.
I know you did it. I know, but unfortunately, like in our real lives, we stuck with a bunch of bad decisions.
I do feel like the Deadpool of it all is its own case study, though, because I feel like Ryan basically said that he was going to peel back away from the character a little bit and like develop what would be next. So I understand it, at least in that regard.
Yeah.
Are you that broken up about Blade? What happened?
No, I'm choking on my spit. You guys just keep talking.
Okay.
I thought I was getting emotional.
The Comic-Con sore throat is just getting to me. I was just trying to hack up a lung off camera.
You guys don't give Jenna Deadpool 4. We're gonna have to
No.
I think it was just so much empathy for Jamie being sad about Blade.
That is true.
Jenna
That is
started to
true.
feel
I'm
it.
sad on her behalf. At least we got Sinners.
Yeah. All right. Well, a couple more things here before a Jamie rant. Jeremy Renner says Hawkeye season 2 is happening.
Do you think that his comments about them not willing to pay him as much was just like kind of a negotiation tactic, and now it's actually coming?
Yeah.
So to Empire, my body's getting ready for something like that. I don't know if anybody wants to see me in tights, but my body will look good in the tights. And I'm pretty sure he outright said like he thinks it's going to happen. I think there was more to that quote. Let me pull it up real quick. But while we're on the topic, do you guys believe this?
My thing with like this Blade Deadpool is like until post Secret Wars, I'm not believing anything.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe any show is getting a season 2. Like it feels like they're all limited series, with the exception of Loki and Daredevil, which was a show to begin with. I just want more Kate. I don't care how we get her. I don't care if it doesn't need to have the word Hawkeye season 2 in the title. But if I don't get more of her soon, I'm going to be really sad about it.
Well,
he said,
"Go ahead."
The quote is, "I'm sure we'll end up doing season 2 and do other things, and I'm happy to do it." That's what he said. Hey, thank you, Daniel Zambrano, for the 5. Here's my manatee mailbox to cheer up Jamie. She loves it. Confirmed. That profile picture of a manatee mailbox. You got to live in like. I feel like I've seen that in like Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah, my hometown. Exactly.
Yeah, that's yeah. Thank you, Daniel. Chat, yay or nay? Do you think we'll see Hawkeye season 2? Go ahead and drop it in, and we'll get to our last topic here before the Jamie rant. Giving you all time to buckle up. Jake Schreier. Talking about X-Men to the playlist. Jamie, you want to read this quote? You want to?
Me?
If you want.
Oh, yeah, I can read this quote. Let's see. What did he say to the playlist? He said, "The core idea of what X-Men is involves complexity. It's an incredible opportunity with super interesting characters and much internal conflict. These characters are wrestling with their identity and place in the world. It's inherently interesting and complex material." Sounds like the X-Men to me. Yep, that's a description of the X-Men.
This is an encouraging quote to me. I'm so curious about this movie, especially now that we have FF, of like, what does the roster look like? How do you juggle all of these characters? And what does that even look like in a post-Secret Wars world? But I trust him more than most to be able to do it.
Yeah, with what he did with Thunderbolt and how he balanced those characters and made such interpersonal relationships and stakes, I'm on board with Jake doing X-Men. And I haven't finished Beef yet, but I've only seen good things from Jake Schreier.
I mean, that this is the one that everybody's been bleating about for 5 years. So I think Jake is up to the task. I don't know. Like, it's so interesting because there was also a part of the report with Variety that said they're doing younger actors. They're not doing like high priced older actors for this, which on its own would separate it from the previous incarnations of the teams quite a bit. Because only ones were there like really teenagers are like X-Men 1 and First Class, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, they're real, and I don't mean like nominally teenagers, because there's a lot of Mighty Morphin Power Ranger style teenagers where they're 30 years old. Like, no, I'm talking about like real teens. Someone saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem and was like, yeah, you know what, we should do that. So it'll be fun.
All right. Red alert. Buckle up. If you're in traffic, pull over to the shoulder.
I've been ready for this.
I have no idea what this is, but I've never seen Jamie stretch before.
This had to do with an Instagram post. I saw this on her Instagram stories, and I literally just wrote Jamie rant in the rundown.
Here we go. Okay, so BD on all our social media has posted the clip of us in Fantastic Four and me talking about how the chairs kind of ruined an emotional moment for me, the Sue moment. And first of all, I was like, oh, little clip, wow, pissed some people off. And I want to talk about a couple things. First of all, I think this is a bit of an echo chamber because I think most of our listeners are really nice people. But I just want to say it just in case, you do not have to be an asshole on the internet. Like, it just makes you look weak. Like, if you have an opinion, you can share it without being an asshole. It's really simple. But there are a couple other things I want to talk about, which is why, for some reason, me being affected poorly by the chairs is bothering people. And I just want to break it down a little bit because let's just talk about it. First of all, the most common argument I got, and let's talk about argument. This is not a debate we're having. This is a feeling I had. You can't argue against a feeling I had, which is 2 movies in a row. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. A character almost died, and you think they might have died, and it didn't work for me because they were already announced to be cast in a later movie. Take the chair part out of it. Just don't announce casting for a movie when your next 2 movies have emotional beats. That's like, oh, are they going to live? And everyone's like, in the comments, like, did you really think Sue Storm was going to die? That's not the point. The point is not they're probably not going to kill Sue Storm. The point is that this is an experience. This is art. And when I watch a film for the first time, I only ever get to watch it once. I'm going to see Fantastic Four at least 50 times in my lifetime. But only once do I get to not know what's about to happen. And this reminds me of in middle school when Amanda Vandery told me what happens in The Sixth Sense. I my whole life never experiencing the Sixth Sense correctly, and that hurts my heart. And so I sat there, and Pedro Pascal is crying, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so emotional. Wait, no, and it took me personally out of it. That's okay. It didn't take you personally out of it. We have different brains. Did you know? We're not all one individual. That's why we're here to discuss things. It's okay if you didn't feel that way. And when you said you didn't feel that way in the comments, that's great too. We're all feeling differently. But if you're getting in there and saying, oh, this girl's stupid because she thought Sue Storm was going to die, I can't stress enough how much that isn't the point of why I think they should have waited on the chairs. Even if they weren't chairs, they could have just been a casting announcement. I don't think it was the right choice to do it before the last 2 movies. And I'm allowed to think that. And you're allowed to not think that. Just be nice about it. Just be nice to each other. The world is crashing. Put a heart emoji at the end of your sentence. Love in your heart. I think that's it. That's pretty much it.
Bravo. Can I also just say, adding on to that, I saw some people comment and be like, well, even if you did feel that way, and even if that did happen to her, she could still come back as a variant, so the chairs still could count. I'm like, don't use a variant as like a hand wave to excuse any of that, because I do absolutely think you're on the money here. The individual piece of art should still be able to stand on its own.
There are a million things that could have happened. It's just the fact that I was so like, Reed was crying. I was so invested. And then it just it popped in my head. And I'm sorry that happened to me. And I'm grateful for those it didn't happen to. But I do think it's funny that when people are like, well, you must have nothing to do if that's what you're thinking about. Guys, what do you think we do this show for? This is my job. It's my literal job to think about this stuff.
I think
work at a desk, and for an accountant, I talk about Marvel.
I think that a lot of the negativity is coming from basement dwellers who call people like us basement dwellers, but also it's people who don't listen to the podcast. Like that clip has gone viral, which means it's reaching more people than know us and what we do. And the internet is just riddled with douchebags. It just is. And I really think anonymity on the internet sucks. I think people should be required to have their face and name and verification on their profile because it would stop people from being racist, misogynist pricks online. But the internet's not ready for that conversation because it would cost Twitter and all the other platforms a lot of money if they had to lose the anonymity of it. But anyway, yeah, I had the same thought you did, Jamie. It didn't take me out as much as it took you out. I was thinking more about the first Avengers movie and the parallels to Tony Stark in that moment. But I had the same thought. And I was like, but either way, I don't think they would have killed her. But it's one thing to have that conversation civilly and say, oh, I didn't feel that way, or I didn't think of it. But it's another thing. I did think of it, but there's criticism and disagreements, and then there's douchebaggery. And we're getting both in spades on that clip.
I just want to add too, I think like a part of it is like a little jealousy that people are listening to a woman have these opinions. Like, I really think that's what I'm just gonna say it. Some people don't like that women have platforms in this space, and to that I say, fuck it.
Hey, C Black, thank you for the 2. I think Black Panther 3 is coming out before Secret Wars. That could, Aaron, is that an agreement face?
Yeah, I think that's
true.
Wow.
Okay.
Is Coogler's schedule pretty clear right now?
He has a Nat Geo series on Disney Plus about Katrina right now. They just did Ironheart, and then he announced some other project, but it would fit in the timeline. I don't think it would take that long.
I do feel like he's going to be on a for-your consideration campaign, though, for most of the next year.
It's true, but I mean, Denzel blurting out, yo, they wrote me into the movie. Like, what? There's an unannounced Marvel Studios feature for July of 2027. That is not X-Men.
It could be Black Panther 3.
No, it could be Black Panther 3.
But at the rate sequels go, we'll see.
Yeah, who knows?
Thank you, C Black, for the 2. Dancing Dog 62. Preach, Jamie! Daniel Zambrano, the Manatee mailbox is back. Jamie for president. Thank you for the 5. By the way, I forgot about the chairs. I thought she was going to die.
Thank you, mailbox.
Fit Dad CEO, who just did great stuff at Freakier Friday. Go check out his content with Chad Michael Murray. Said, I was on the other side of this argument, and now I need Jamie to do the next promos for Doomsday. Thank you for the 10, Dave. Jamie's going to take over the Marvel marketing team.
I do want to say, as much as like I've been annoyed, the day of the chairs was a very fun day for us. What? Like we really were having the time of our lives throughout. I
was getting married that weekend. I had shit to do, and I still was like locked in every 12 minutes trying to figure out what was up with the chairs.
I was getting on the plane to your wedding, and I had to pay for internet.
You paid for Wi-Fi, and then it was just Downey's chair, and you paid for Wi-Fi for nothing.
I paid $30 to see Downey's chair.
Do we have any major characters that have been announced since the chairs that didn't have a chair?
No one's been officially announced, like directly from Marvel. So
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, last topic of the day: Avatar: Fire and Ash trailer. What did we think of the Avatar?
I thought the same thing I thought when I saw the Odyssey trailer, which is this does not belong after Nicole. This is not where this trailer should go.
Belong after what?
Nicole Kidman.
Did they play it?
Yeah, they played it after Nicole, just like the Odyssey trailer. That's a surefire way to tick me off.
Yep.
The worst things that could happen to Jamie in that situation is a trailer. Like I imagine if there was a trailer playing after Nicole and somebody took their phone out to take a picture of it, there would be fire and ash all over that theater.
I feel like it would only make it worse if there was like a commercial, but like after Nicole and before the trailer. Like that would just make it even worse.
This was a nice trailer. Forgive my ignorance. I didn't see the second movie. I'm not an Avatar fan. There seem to be no humans in this. Is that...
There's like a human child that they adopted. I still haven't seen the second one either. I'm going to watch it before this one, but there's one of them, the children is like an actual human child.
I could spoil elements of that a little bit. I don't know if you want me to, Jamie, because I feel like you're gonna have to.
I'm never gonna see this movie.
Well, like,
our audience might care, so I don't know.
I mean, Stephen Lang is going to be back as an Avatar this time. Like, they were able to dig up his consciousness. There is this kid, Jack Champion, I believe, is the actor who is part of, he's one with the Fire and Ash, I guess now. But I read a tweet that somebody said, and I kind of agree with it. I really enjoy the Avatar movies. I don't have like an emotional investment in them, but I really enjoy them. I think because visually they're just astounding. But it's and I think the tweet was like, I have no idea what's going on. I just saw a bunch of crazy visuals and it was cool. And like, I agree with that. But also when I watch these Avatar movies, I feel like I'm in like history class, like learning about shit I have no idea about from like, I don't know how many years ago that I, in often cases, don't have an emotional investment in, because I'm like in 11th grade, just being forced to learn about something. But in this case, it's like that, but with an exciting flair. I don't know. I feel like I'm watching a fucking documentary with Avatar because James Cameron makes such an incredible world and story that I actually am interested and invested in finding out what happened. Even if emotionally I'm not into it, I'm just curious and invested in that regard more than anything. But I'm not like totally emotionally disconnected from the Avatar movies. But I think they're really, I was shocked by how much I enjoyed The Way of Water because it wasn't super high on my anticipation that year. And I ended up being like, damn, that was sick. So I'm quite excited to see this movie on a big screen. Yeah.
I want to add, like, even though I'm not interested in Avatar, I do want to say that I am a big James Cameron fan. It's just, I just didn't really like the first one, so I never continued on. But I do like. I'm gonna get shit for this, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm on a roll today. I think Titanic's the greatest film ever made. I don't think there's a better film. I'm not kidding. It's not even my favorite movie. I think it's the greatest film ever made. So that's my truth.
I don't even think that's too hot of a take.
No.
We'll see. Don't put that on Twitter, for the love of God.
God. I will say the thing that like got me wanting to go see this one was since Way of Water came out, I went to Avatar Land in Disney World, and just seeing like how immersive and in depth that world is. That like 4DX ride where you're riding on the bike thing, like gave me vertigo, like you will never believe. I was miserable for half the day afterwards, but it was so worth it to just see like how immersive all of that was. So I was like, shoot, I might have to just get invested into these movies again and like follow this world at very least.
Daniel says, I disagree with BD. I watched that first one and immediately forgot that whole thing because it felt so generic. I remember Ferngully though. Look, a reasonable disagreement. Good job, Daniel. We appreciate you. That's why you're part of this Phase Hero community, and you're what makes it awesome. Yeah, I mean, the first Avatar, I'll be honest, I didn't see the first Avatar in theaters. I watched it on 4K a couple months before the second one came out, and I had wished I saw it in theaters because of the visuals. At least I don't think I did. But the second one, I saw that thing on at the Odeon in Leicester Square, and it was like handpicked by James Cameron to screen it in that theater, and it was like one of the most gorgeous experiences I've ever had watching a movie. I take Fit Dad already riling it up. Dave, I take back my love for Jamie. Titanic is absolutely not the best.
This is the debate I'm going to have, because name another movie that has action, horror, drama, romance, and comedy. I can't think of another movie that has all five and hits all five perfectly.
Did you read his next comment?
Clearly, you've never seen that before. Respect.
All right, y'all. Well, I think that is what we've got for today. Am I the most excited for Avatar Fire and Ash on this panel here?
Probably the most, but I'm still going to go see it.
Okay. All right, y'all. Jenna, any last words for today's episode of Phase Hero?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. As always, go read some comics and go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is at Go Read Some Comics. As we mentioned up top, I have a video breaking down the Peacemaker Comic-Con trailer, and I am currently working on my FF spoiler-filled review breakdown. People have been like, where is it? Why isn't it here yet? I'm like, it's been busy. This past week has been busy. I could not make that video amid Comic-Con. That would have been chaos. So I went last night. I had my little notebook. I took notes the entire movie, and I'm going to turn that into a video that will be dropping later this week.
Boom. Jamie?
Oh, it's at Jamie Jirak on Letterboxd and Instagram and, whatever else. Thank you all for letting me just be myself and rant and talk about things I like. You guys are great. I love all of you. I love my friends and the listeners. You're good people. Go see Naked Gun this weekend. And when you do, don't take your phone out because that would be rude.
Aaron?
Oh, goodness. It's at Summer Lake Hornet on all platforms, at How to Watch Free TV. We're filming a new episode later today, with Tony. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time. Eyes of Wakanda comes out on Friday. They announced this while we were all in San Diego. I've seen all of it, and it is good. There will be talk about episodes 3 and 4 at some point, somewhere, in some platform. And
is there like an embargo on reactions to that show?
I don't know. Let me see. I have
no
no idea.
I looked at the email and it was like, don't spoil anything, but it didn't. There was no words on embargo. This just feels like why they're dumping another thing. The fact that I did not realize it was coming out, that they changed the date. Promote your stuff, promote your business. I'm so excited to watch this show.
Yeah.
Todd and them did a really good job. He was at the panel. He was at the Marvel booth for like 2 seconds on Saturday signing stuff. And I was like, I should have weaseled my way down there. But yeah, that's what's going on. And then, with that, don't take your phone out. Go watch Brandon's vlog with his mommy. It is adorable. Big fan of Davis. And go watch Jenna talk about the freaking mural that we all got wrong, because James decided to just let us know it was on the mural in Superman.
Yeah, that was cool. And that happened right the day Jenna met James. I think
he dropped the mural on Friday, and I met him on Saturday. But I spent most of Friday. I literally edited until I fell asleep on Friday night, my video of the mural, and then posted it on Saturday. Met him 3 hours later.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much to everybody for listening. A couple things coming up. Paul Walter Hauser will be published, I believe, tomorrow in interview form that has no spoilers for The Naked Gun. Akiva, the director of The Naked Gun, I'm doing a director debrief with him. We're actually recording it in just a few hours. That'll be up Friday or Saturday. So after you see The Naked Gun, it's encouraged to go watch that, because there's a few surprises and fun things happening in Naked Gun, and it is also just a hilarious movie. So you'll want to listen to that director debrief with Akiva. Steve Agee published audio earlier today. The video of that will be published on the channel. So thank you for listening and supporting all these interviews and all this fun stuff. Freakier Friday stuff next week. If you saw the vlog Aaron referenced, my mom switched places with me because I got added to that junket at the last minute. And I was like, wait a second, my mom is actually flying in for the Fantastic Four premiere. Can she just swap and do my job in the Freaky? And they let her do it, and it was a blast. So I can't wait to publish those next week when the movie is upon us. And phasehero.com for all your merch. Thank you to all the super chats today. Thank you for all the downloads. Thank you to everybody who shares our show. Thank you to the people who see our clips on social media and leave positive comments as the sea of people who haven't discovered Phase Hero leave their thoughts, which are sometimes great and sometimes kind of annoying to read. But we appreciate you guys. So thank you guys. Play our show for your dad. Play it for your cat. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we will see you for next week's live show, 2 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. See you there.